Hey everyone, so it's Sarah. I'm just popping in with Jasmine this month to do some live videos with you guys and bring you some information. I'm just going to see if I can adjust the height of the camera. No. Alright, so we'll just work with it. So if you didn't see the video last week, I'm Sarah. I'm a mum of two. My two girls are 3.5 and 1, and we live in a tiny house on wheels. And so a part of that has been, there's been a huge amount of change and transition that we've made. What brought us to tiny houses was actually a combination of learning to reduce our waste and then learning to reduce our stuff. So I wanted to share with you over the coming weeks a bit of what we've learned. And today I just wanted to start with reducing your waste for beginners. So if you're new to this and you've been living life thinking that putting stuff in the bin and doing recycling is great, it is great. But the thing is, when you throw waste away, it doesn't just go away. So we're still dealing with this problem, and the best thing that we can do is learn to be a little bit smarter with what we're buying, what we're using, to reduce the waste in the first place, so less actually needs to be processed. So if you're new to this concept, it can be a bit overwhelming. You can see all the conversations, all the things that people are doing, which are all fantastic, but you don't really know where to start. So today's topic is really for beginners, a bit of information on where you can start to reduce your waste. So the first thing I wanted to say is you can't do everything. So make some steps to make a start. Start reducing your waste, but don't guilt yourself. Like, if you make a mistake and you buy something that you think, oh, but this is so much waste, I shouldn't have done that. Don't beat yourself up. You're not going to be able to do everything straight away. It's a learning process. One step at a time. Master one thing, move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing. Rome wasn't built in a day. So this is a process. The other thing I want to say as well is give yourself permission to throw things out if they're broken and not serving a purpose anymore. There's no point holding on to stuff just because it's broken and you don't want to put it in the bin, because sooner or later that'll start weighing on you mentally and emotionally as well, and cluttering up your space and your life. So when it gets to that point that something is no longer serving you, is broken, it has no purpose anymore, give yourself permission to throw it out, move on, and make a better decision next time. So let's get into it. So the first thing to do is do a waste survey. Look at your waste and where your rubbish comes from. For us, there was a lot of food, and a lot of packets from things like dairy-free milks, Glad wrap, plastic bags, that sort of stuff. So the number one thing is to look at your waste and work out exactly where your rubbish is coming from, and that'll give you an idea of what you need to improve on and where you need to go. So for us, the biggest thing, and honestly for most people the biggest thing, is going to be implementing some sort of compost system. So statistics show that somewhere between 50 to 70% of household waste is actually food. So if you can nail this one, you'll automatically drop your waste by probably 50%, sometimes more. So there's a lot of different options for compost, and not one solution is going to be right for everyone. There are a lot of different things to think about. So if you have a backyard, that's great. You can set up your own compost system. If you don't have a backyard that you can put a compost system in, there are still options. So check with your council if you are able to put food waste into your green bin in that case. Our council is just bringing this out at the end of the month. We'll be able to put all green waste, like all compostable stuff, including bones and stuff, into the green bin. If you don't have that access, see if you can find your local community garden and see if you can drop off food scraps to them to put in their compost, because most of the community gardens are going to have compost facilities. Or the other option is to find a neighbour with animals. Chickens are a really good one. If you can find someone local with chickens, they're probably more than happy to take your food scraps and feed them to their animals. So that's a couple different things to think about if you don't have a backyard at all. The next one to think about would be something along the lines of like a bokashi bucket, where you can put everything in, it packs it all down, you spray it with an activator or a powder, one or the other. They're an activator to ferment everything down quickly, which breaks it all down, it condenses it really quickly, and you get this liquid fertilizer you can put on your garden, and this fermented matter that you can either put into a secondary compost system or bury into the ground. And then there's all like your pile compost, your rotating compost, trench compost, all those different systems. I encourage you to go look at it. If you can nail your compost systems, you'll probably reduce your waste by about 50%. My phone's doing crazy stuff today. It's just dropped 20% battery in the last little bit. So we'll see how we go with this. The next thing that you can look at doing is if you've got any single serve stuff going into your rubbish bin, like yogurt packets, like your single serve squeezy yogurt packets, single slices of cheese, that sort of stuff, see if you can swap that to bigger portions and put it into containers. Yogurt and cheese are a really easy one to do this. Single serve milk, single serve juices, all those sorts of things are really easy ways to swap those ones over. Another one that you'll possibly find in your waste are things like Glad wrap or cling film, whatever you want to call it, in Ziploc bags. So see if you can swap those things over to just containers. So in the fridge, instead of putting Glad wrap over a bowl and sticking it in a container, put it in a container with a lid. And same with Ziploc bags, just swap over to some smaller containers. In the bathroom is another place that we get a lot of waste. So you've got all like your shampoo bottles, baby nappies, beauty products, all that sort of stuff. So personally, I don't use shampoo or conditioner. I've been using what we call no poo or no shampoo for about 12 months now, I think. I think I've only put shampoo and conditioner in my hair once in the last 6 months. We were outside, it was really dirty and dusty, it'd been really windy. That's about the only time I've put shampoo and conditioner in my house. So that automatically got rid of all of those bottles. I've got a couple things here to show you. So like, this isn't particularly product promotion or anything like that, just to show you what I use, and then you can do what you want with that. So I use cloth pads. I've just swapped over to, so this is my moisturizer. It's a solid moisturizer. Jar of lip balm. We've got compostable Band-Aids. That's probably a little bit more of like an advanced one. You might not start with something like that, but you know, this is just showing you what I've got in the bathroom. These are two really easy ones for beginners to swap over to. Hairbrush, toothbrush. If you can swap over to those two, that'll make a really big difference, because your toothbrush you throw out like what, every 3 months? I don't know what most people do. For me, it's probably about the 3 to 4 month mark. So these are compostable. I just either snap off the head or pour boiling water over it so the bristles pull out, because these ones are actually nylon, not bamboo. And then the rest of it can either go into the fireplace, into the compost, whatever. And then baby nappies. So wet bag and baby nappies. So if you can, bathroom's another place that there's a lot of waste. So if you can have a little bit of look at what goes in the bin in the bathroom, and work with that. So that's a little bit of at home. And cleaning products. Have a look at your cleaning products. For us, I'm able to clean pretty much everything with vinegar or bicarb. I don't tend to use the two of them together because it's actually quite a intense chemical reaction, which can actually be quite corrosive to a lot of things. So I tend to use one or the other as a general rule. And for cleaning most surfaces like walls and stuff, I'll use vinegar and water with a couple drops of clove oil and a couple drops of detergent. That's my multi-purpose cleaner that I use for pretty much everything. Windows, walls, benches, it's pretty much what I use. So have a look at your cleaning products and go from there. And then while you're out, the really simple stuff that you can start with, there's gonna be more you can think about, but the really simple stuff you can start with is some produce bags. If you're generally, I just don't use produce bags. I just group like the carrots together and the potatoes together and all that sort of stuff when I go shopping. But sometimes for things like mushrooms and things, produce bags can be really handy. And your shopping bags, as well as your water bottle, whatever you choose to use, and a coffee cup if you're a coffee cup person. So that's just really briefly, really basically, some of the easy places to start. So all the stuff I've mentioned is really easy things to integrate. When something runs out, just swap it out. When you're ready to make a change or make a new purchase, invest your money wisely into more zero waste stuff. So all the things that I've suggested today are really easy things that don't take a lot of organization, don't take a lot of money, don't take a lot of time. Just swap it out for the next thing. And like I said, don't get hung up on feeling like you need to do everything or feeling guilty because you're not where you want to be yet. One step at a time. Master the compost, master the shopping bags, master the water bottle, and then move on to the next thing. And yeah, have fun with it. This is a journey, and if you can inspire one person to make a change, you've not only impacted your life and your family, but you've impacted them as well. So have fun with it. If it's fun, other people have a go too. So I hope this has been really helpful. I'd love to hear your feedback, your thoughts, and next week we'll talk about some of the more advanced stuff, some of the stuff that you need to think about, maybe make some sacrifice or make some conscious decisions to go without something, and some of the things that you need to sort of plan ahead and be more on the ball with to do those things. So we'll talk about that next week. Until then, we'll see you then. Bye.